Hello everybody, my name is Claude Webster. I'm a pianist, I'm a vocal coach, and I'm a coach who specializes in performance preparation. In this series of videos that I call One Step at a Time, my idea is to give you one little thing to play with that has a good chance to make a big difference for you in your performances. Today I want to talk about the goal formulation in a situation of performance. I will use many different angles in order to help you clarify what is your goal. I will do several videos. I will do one on long-term goal. What is it that you're after? Why do you perform? What's the outcome that you're after? That will be one video. I will do one short-term goal. Today, if you have a concert, if you have an audition, what is your goal today in the process of where you are at in your preparation, in your evolution, in this type of performance that you do? You have to re-evaluate what is your goal today. And there's a third category that I call action goals. Those are actions to help you stay in the now, in the present when you perform. Those are the actions that you take in order to help you stay in your inner zone of excellence. But before I can get to those three different videos, I want to do an introduction to goal formulation and give you three criteria that are for me the most important ones in a context of performance. Several studies have demonstrated the efficacy of having a clear goal. That means to have answered a few criteria that are very important in order to formulate that goal. The brain is like a machine that will be extremely performing, extremely effective when the direction is given in a certain way. So, for example, psychology has demonstrated that if you cannot make a clear inner representation of your goal, you have very little chances to reach that goal. That will be one of the criteria that I will go through today. So the first one has to do with what I call concept number one. The brain cannot make a representation of something that is negative. What I mean by that is it's actually easier with an example. If I tell you, don't think of Bugs Bunny, you go straight to Bugs Bunny. If I tell you, do not think of number 12, you think of number 12. It's not because I want to be a nice person that I say it needs to be formulated in a positive manner, or it's not because it's a new age concept. It's just the way your brain is wired. So first criteria is the goal has to be formulated positively. I'll give you several examples. I have even created a little game that I call the road versus the cliff. It comes from when I learned how to drive when I was younger. I had to drive one day next to a big cliff, and that made me very nervous. And I learned very early on, if I'm afraid to go in the cliff, is it better that I look at the road or that I look at the cliff? I learned that if I look at the cliff, the car goes straight to the cliff. So it's better for me to keep my eyes on the road. In a situation of performance, it's the same. We don't realize that we keep telling ourselves the fears, the interferences are the cliff. We keep asking ourselves not to do things. Not to do something is like telling your brain, do not think of number 12. Your brain can actually make a negative representation. It's just a slow process. If I tell you don't think of number 12, you either erase 12 in your mind and you choose another number, or you put an X on it and then you choose another number. It would be much faster to say, think of number 5. Then you go straight to number 5. That's what I'm trying to do with this goal clarification. So criteria number 1, your goal has to be formulated in a positive action, in a positive manner. In situation of performance, for example, you all have probably what I call keywords or key phrases. Many of the musicians that I work with tend to have negative one. For example, don't push, don't push. Don't push is don't think of number 12. What is the outcome or the opposite for you of don't push? If you don't push, what do you do? Where it's interesting is that formulation needs to be personalized. I need you to figure out for you what is the opposite of if you have don't push in your vocabulary. What is for you the positive formulation of that? One singer one day told me, for me the opposite of don't push is actually bouncing, because it was like she had the feeling of being on a, you know, those big balls at the gym where you just sit on them and it bounces a little bit. For her, don't push was that. For someone else, don't push could be really tall. I'm tall, because push has to do with cramping down. So it depends what it is you're after. It could be simply something like easy tiger, and then you smile, and at the same time it puts you in the right mood, because otherwise you'll go too much forward. It could be just breathe. You need to figure out what is the translation basically of your negative keywords, if they're negative. I propose to you that you put 2 columns. One would be the road, the other one would be the cliff. And you write down, what do you tell yourself in a situation of performance? Whenever you want to formulate a goal, the first thing, if the first thing that comes up is negative, it's okay. Just write it down. It's in the cliff column, and you'll translate it after. That will be your first homework for today. So that's criteria number 1. Criteria number 2, I would call it depends only on you. I refer to it as you're the captain of your ship. What I mean by that is very often the goal is I want to win. I want to win the audition or the competition. I want to win this interview. You have actually no power over that decision. In a long-term situation, wanting to win a competition is extremely motivating. It's great. You keep it. But the closer you get to the day of the competition, you're better to translate that goal into a much more closer to you goal, so that you can formulate a goal that is initiated and maintained only by you. That means if your goal is, I want the public to love me, that's an outside goal, outcome goal. You have no power over what the public will like. And I can even tell you, no matter what you do, you can't please everybody. There's no way you're going to win. So it's a goal that is not empowering. But if that's what you're after, okay. What do you want to do that has the more chances in your mind that the public will like? What are the either the actions? What do you want to do? How do you want to be? How do you want to react when the unexpected happens? Because in a situation of performance, we have to plan for the unexpected. And when something unexpected happens, if I prepare a couple of possibilities of how to react, I will be able to find either another one or use one that I planned. Initiated and maintained only by you is that second criteria. In order to make sure that you become the captain of your ship, what are the actions I want to make, that I want to do? How do I want to behave? How do I want to feel in that situation that I have power over? So that has the most possible chances to help me make sure that I either, because if I want to win or if I want the public to love me, okay, I'll go in that direction, but indirectly. And the third criteria has to do with I call that the indicators of success. It's the one that will help you build an inner representation of your goal. We're going to use your senses. How will you know that you have reached your goal? If I give you an example, the musicians will tell me, for example, I want to sing well or I want to play well. Okay, it's very good, it's fine, it's legitimate, but it's a bit too vague. How will you know that you sang well? What are your indicators of success? And I would ask you three angles. What will you feel? Either emotionally, when you play well, either physically. How is your body? What is different when you play well and when you don't play well, so that you really get a clearer image of what it is you're after? What do you feel? The second one is, what do you hear? What is different in the way of hearing? Maybe the perspective is different. Maybe what you hear is also the inner dialogue in your head is different. What do you tell yourself? And the third sense is, what do you see? Maybe you see differently when you perform and it's going well. Maybe you can also ask yourself, what will the other people see of me when I perform well? So that gives you all sorts of indicators that are connected with the three senses: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Feeling in the body. Feeling in the body or feeling emotionally, very important to explore as well. All these three senses will help you create a very empowering representation of your goal. That inner representation of your goal that you just created with all these indicators will be extremely useful for you, even if you have no idea how will I do that. Your brain will activate itself. It will connect with your inner strengths, your inner resources. It will mobilize everything inside of you to help you achieve the end goal, because it's clear. Even if right now you have no idea, how will I get there? Don't worry, for now, those three criteria, positive, depend only on you, and with your indicators of success, are the three most important criteria in any goal formulation. I use it in performance, but of course, in real life, it's the same. You can apply that in any context. Those are three basics, generalization of criteria to formulate a goal. There are several that we can use, but I think that in a situation of performance, I start with those three to make an introduction. And I'd like to end with a little story. We are in the workshop of a carpenter, and all the tools are there, and they're having a meeting. The tools are trying to find who will be the president of all the tools of the carpenter. The hammer is saying, I'm the most important tool here, so I'll be the leader. The other tool says, no, 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 you're too loud, you'll make too much noise, it's very annoying, we don't want you to be the president. So the hammer says, okay, I won't be the president as long as it's not the screw. Because if it's the screw, every time he talks, we will turn, that we will get dizzy. So the screw smiles and says, yeah, okay, it's true that I do turn around on myself all the time. So it's okay if it's not me, the president. I don't mind as long as it's not the sandpaper. Because the sandpaper is so irritating that we will feel annoyed very quickly. The sandpaper is very upset. He says, okay, fine, I won't be the president as long as it's not the measuring tape. Because the measuring tape is imposing his view of the world and it is so strict and so limiting. I don't want him to be the president either. The measuring tape doesn't have time to say anything. The carpenter walks into the workshop. So all the tools stop talking. And the carpenter starts to use each tool, one after the other, and alternates. And at the end of several hours of work, he created a beautiful desk. And then when the carpenter leaves, the tools started to talk together. And actually, it's the lock who started to talk and said, it's very interesting what just happened. The carpenter used all our strengths in order to build that beautiful desk. It's true that we all have weaknesses, but when we work together, we can really create something special and really bring out the best in all the other tools if we concentrate on what we do well. So I will leave you with two questions. What kind of carpenter are you? And how are behaving your tools inside of you? So I wish you a very good exploration, and don't hesitate to ask me any questions or to send me comments if you have any on those videos. Thank you.